In all funds on this aid to localities bill, all funds, how much does this bill appropriate?
187 billion.
187 billion. So on cash that will be spent on this bill, this is appropriating then a substantial amount. How much do we expect to spend?
95.4 billion.
95.4. So we would consider then there's a number of dry appropriations or...
Yes. I'm waiting for that here. I will bring you one. Did you add something?
Yeah, no, just, do you have an example maybe of a few of the larger ones of those?
Well, the larger ones are education and health. They're both two-year programs. That's a double, and that's one of the reasons why the 187 is so high.
Thank you, Mr. Farrell. If we go into a few of the specific points on this, in the education area, I see that there are several millions of special grants or additional grants, some of them listed within this budget, but others not. Do you have all of those projects that are not listed been identified?
What grants are you talking about?
The ones that might go to schools, libraries.
The appropriation is included, and an appropriation is included to provide for additional assistance to public schools. As in previous years, these funds would be authorized to address unforeseen circumstances at local districts. It is also important to note that these funds represent 0.04% of all spending on school aid.
And my question would be, do you have the list of who is going to get those, or that determination is going to be?
Some are in the budget now.
Some are, yes.
And others will be later put in.
Is there a time frame when we might expect those, or?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there a time frame when we might expect those?
Yeah, no, because we don't know when it will be, because this is stuff we may do later.
Moving into the area of communication grants, I know we've had the $1.20 fee on cellular phones that the state has charged, and many counties have argued for a greater amount of that money reaching the county level, and I am pleased to see that there's an increased amount in that, I believe $75 million. Do you know how much that is over last year?
30 million over last year.
And there were grants awarded in December of 2011. When can we expect these grants to be able to go out or for our localities to be considered for them?
They're doing them right now.
So they should?
They should in the next couple of days, weeks.
Thank you. And there's some money for waterfront revitalization. I believe $4 million for the local waterfront revitalization. Is any of that money possibly be used? I know the issue of last year's floods come up regularly. Any of that money that might be able to go toward that?
Nothing to restrict it. It could.
It could.
Yeah, it could.
Thank you. And moving to another area, community college base aid, I see an increase of $150 FTE. Does that get us back to the 1/3 state?
No. Not yet.
But moving closer.
Yeah.
So some counties have been passing some of the costs of the chargebacks for community college onto the towns and villages, and I know there have been some concerns raised on it. Anything in this budget that addresses that issue?
We've authorized the study to get more information on that.
And do we have any sense, time frame, of when that should happen?
By November of this year?
Of 2012.
Yes.
Also in the budget, my understanding is there's currently 6 centers of excellence in the state. Does this bill, I know there's money that funds centers of excellence. Does this bill create any new ones? And if so, where are they?
Okay. There are 3 new centers: University of Buffalo and its Materials Informatics, SUNY Stony Brook Advanced Energy Research, Rochester Institute of Technology, Sustained Able Manufacturing. That's it.
Thank you. The last area I have is some of the health area included in this bill on the aid to localities. The EPIC program, I'm sure you heard, as I heard, and all of us did, people's concerns about some of the challenges with the EPIC funding. How has this budget changed from the present situation? How much are we going to spend additionally, and what are we doing differently?
We have $30 million in co-pay that will go into effect in January.
So that $30 million will cover, in essence, from January to March. So a full year reinstatement or whatever, you could multiply that
yes.
by the 4 quarters.
Yes.
And in January, will that program be re-established as it was prior to this year, or
it's about 75% of what the program used to be.
So that there will be some greater costs to the seniors using that, but
it's still better than it was.
about 3/4 of that will be sent back, or will be reestablished and covered for them. I did find office people with disabilities, developmental disabilities, there's a $200 million dry appropriation, I think, in that. Is there an anticipation that that may be needed during this year?
It's a contingency based on discussions we're having with the federal government, and if they give us, we can use it.
Okay. So it's dependent on
federal.
Medicaid increases around 4%, I believe, under this plan. Are we close to the cap, or is there a concern that we might go through that?
We're right at the cap now. That's what we project.
Finally, what I have is in this, the state ops bill, there was a cut in the I Love New York program of $770,000. In this bill, there is $3 million of new spending authorizing for tourism marketing. And so my question would be, do we know how that $3 million of tourism marketing is going to be spent, how we're going to divvy that up, and is there any opportunity to put that into the, perhaps into the I Love New York program?
Yeah, is that the discrepancy?
Or the
It's
discretion?
up to the agency to make the decision.
It will be up to the agency, as in the economic development, I believe,
You're right, yes.
that goes through.
Yes.
So that it could be. So we're seeing this additional money. Do we know the genesis of this money? You know, other than its general target for tourism?
We've just basically used available monies that are there.
Thank you, Mr. Farrell.